Guess what happened? But here's one thing that happened to us a couple of years ago with a company when the war in Ukraine started. So something that the company was doing very well, they were increasing, I think, at 20% year on year for the past 3 or 4 years. And they were about to do a new international launch in terms of reaching out to new markets, new customers, bigger tenders, etc. But they were kind of, how can I put this, not very confident not in the capabilities technically. They were not very confident, I think, down to they say, are we going to do this jump or not? Because they were not certain. They didn't have an organization in place that actually could support, not support because they were doing international business. They could understand, that's the word. They didn't have a blueprint and say how we're going to do this in a way that actually doesn't impact the core of our business, right? And guess what happened? They started to do things in a very bad way. They started to, using the excuse of the war in Ukraine, they started to reduce partners, reduce margins, renegotiate aggressively many contracts. They started to lay off people. They started to reshift the shop, the machine shop, in a way to make it like a how it's called, a supply chain assembly line style, when they weren't. They were basically specially stationed where the products were traveling in different places. Anyway, so they tried to do something that was very standardized in terms of the name of efficiency and increase margins, and pretty much try to do better. The intent was very good. The thing actually they didn't know how to do it properly, and they pretty much they put the company to their knees, if you may, to the point that actually their own customers start to say, probably we need to look another alternative. And when you have that in your customer's mind, you are in big trouble. So sometimes going international and using the international excuses to go international in a different way probably is going to make a bigger problem. So defend your core first. If it's working, just make it more efficient, but don't try to reshape everything at the same time with the excuse of a conflict somewhere in the world that actually doesn't have any impact on your economy. So it's a long-winded example, but actually just to give you an example, because sometimes if you are in the reorganization because you're going international or using the conflict of Iran as a part of your reorganization, look at that again, because probably you should stop it now and reconsider what